Hello there everybody, What Culture's Adam Cleary here, and it is so tantalisingly close to the first episode of Star Trek Picard, you can almost taste it. We are less than a month away now. And with time drawing us ever nearer to that illustrious moment, CBS have deemed us worthy of one final teaser trailer, one 30-second trailer that will tell us precisely what it is we are getting. Now, I came in today to hear about this trailer and was told, oh, should we do a trailer breakdown? Should we do another things you missed? And I went, no, of course we shouldn't. It's 30 seconds long. What could possibly be in that that's worth talking about? And then I sat and watched it, and my God. Basically, right, CBS and Amazon know exactly what they're doing with the hype for all this, so they have given us several juicy nuggets, several amazing little teasers just to whet our appetites fully for this show launching, and so we must talk about them. I am compelled to. So without further ado, and because they still won't buy me a Star Trek costume, my name is Adam Cleary, and these are 8 huge details that everybody missed in the latest Star Trek Picard trailer. Number 8, 10 forward. We're just going to start with the really obvious one because yes, you probably did notice this yourself, but it's still worth talking about, and some people I saw did definitely miss it. But anyway, we start with Picard talking about how he is haunted by his past while a planet explodes in the background and he is in the foreground. But in the middle of that shot, you may have missed this, was 10 forward, the infamous relaxation station from the old Enterprise D. Now this is almost certainly a flashback of sorts given the 90s TV style backboards on display and the brief inclusion of what looks to be Earl Grey tea. Now I can't tell whether or not that's hot or not, but this is clearly designed to stir up every possible bit of nostalgia for the next generation. Mentally add this to the Captain Picard Day banner we've seen previously and it feels like we're going to spend a lot of time on Jean-Luc's old ship, even if it's just in his head. As for precisely what planet it is we're seeing be destroyed in the background now, it looks not unlike Mars, and given that we're going to get a prequel episode called The Children of Mars, and he's haunted by his past, and explosions, and children, and haunting, and it's just, yeah, put those together, it's a pretty grim implication. Number 7, Locutus. Yeah, I know as well, but this is the last of the obvious ones, promise. Another assumption that was pretty quickly jumped upon was that this brief shot of a Borg drone was that of Jonathan Del Arco's first want-away member of the Collective, of Hugh, the Borg drone that the Next Generation crew freed from the Collective, but then sent him back, hoping that individuality would do yada yada, etc, etc. However, we've already seen how he is going to look in the show. A blink and you'll miss it shot from an earlier trailer showed Hugh leading both Picard and Dahj through some sort of corridor in what was assumed to be an escape attempt from the Romulan prison station. Clearly, this is not the same man. Now, given Picard is literally talking about being haunted by his past during this sequence, we can pretty much assume that is supposed to be Locutus, just with some slightly ropey CGI attempting to de-age Patrick Stewart. I mean, the guy is not a young man now. He's nowhere near the age he was when they did the Best of Both Worlds episode, so they've put in some slightly hokey de-aging effects to try and make him look like that, but in the process made it slightly not look like him. Look, it's not as good as The Irishman, obviously, but for the purposes of a harrowing flashback, it will do. Number 6, Vulcan. One consistent thing we've had across all the different teasers and trailers has been this setting of a barren, rocky, ashen land in which several things are taking place. We've seen a few battles pitched there, we've seen a lot of dialogue take place there, we've even had a glorious exposition shot showing you the wider location, and for obvious reasons, people have assumed this is Vulcan. Firstly, it looks just like Vulcan, which is as good a reason as any, but the primary thinking here has been that it's the most natural place for the billions of Romulan refugees to go. With their world destroyed and their government presumably in chaos, the Romulans have turned to their biological cousins for sanctuary. The two species having segregated thousands of years prior, but retaining a number of important cultural connections, and Spock. But the thing is, there hasn't been an awful lot of talk about much Vulcan involvement in this show. Like even Narek, who after the first trailer we all thought, oh, there is a nice Vulcan man, turned out to be a Romulan agent who joins Picard's crew. So it's quite odd that they'd be setting so much of this show on Vulcan if there's not much to do with Vulcan in it, but as you will see later in this video, I have another theory for where that is, so stay tuned. Number 5, Segregation. Despite not having dropped one single episode yet, Star Trek Picard loves to give us a tantalizing, teasing little Easter egg in the form of something scrawled on a wall. The first trailer gave us that absolutely brilliant 5,843 days since the last assimilation thing scrawled across the wall of the Romulan prison facility, but this one has another little thing in it that is just as intriguing, but for very different reasons. Romulans only, written very clearly in a typeface that matches the race in question, but nonetheless in English. This is a sign written by Romulans, but designed to be read by humans. Whatever location this is taking place in, and yes, more on that later, the main populations here are human and Romulan, and there is a very clear integration problem between the two. Now, look, without wanting to make this entry overtly political, it is probably worth pointing out that sci-fi does its best work when it is holding a mirror up to today's society. Star Trek in particular is absolutely brilliant at doing this, so if they are trying to tell some kind of story about the various refugee crises we have seen across our planet Earth in the present day at the moment, this is as poignant as it is clever. Number 4, that's actually Earth. Now, given the occasionally strange habit Star Trek has, although once you start factoring in like effect budgets and other considerations, it's totally understandable, given the slightly strange habit they have of only showing us planets from orbit that are completely drenched in sunlight, this precise shot from the trailer feels like exciting new ground. And I mean, on the rare occasions we have seen the dark side of planets, like for example Voyager's opening credits, they're very rarely, if ever, illuminated in any way. They never look inhabited. Plus, on the even rarer occasion Star Trek has taken us back to Earth, we're usually presented with one or more immediately recognizable land masses just to drill home precisely where we are. Europe, North America, occasionally Africa, we're accustomed to getting a very preschool globe view of the world on TV. Despite, of course, the actual realities of space, meaning you can just come at a planet from any direction at any rotation you like. Thus, and you are gonna have to, crick your neck slightly, this shot, which everybody assumed was some strange alien planet, is in fact actually Earth, specifically Earth's Middle East. You can see the Black Sea, you can see the Caspian Sea, you can see Turkey, Afghanistan, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and just on the very far end there, that is India. Now, what is the Middle East visually in large parts? Sandy, desert-like, barren, ashen, not unlike how we imagine Vulcan. So, yes, basically all those establishing shots we saw and we thought were on Vulcan might well be taking place in Earth's own Middle East, and this shot of the ship arriving at the planet is because it's literally traveling to somewhere in the Middle East. Wouldn't that be clever? Number 3, those are Starfleet ships. Yes, a little bit of a sneaky one this, and possibly even something that CBS wouldn't have wanted us seeing, but this exact shot in the trailer we have seen many times before. Those weird shaped sort of triangular ships cruising down the side of a starbase, weapons firing, they have been in pretty much every previous trailer so far, but this is a different render. In all previous appearances, those 3 ships carried no visual markings. This time out, they are covered in Starfleet emblems. For all the talk during production, the Picard story would see our titular hero waving goodbye to his former employers to undertake a mission free of their oversight, we're now seeing increasing evidence of their importance to the story. Now, given we've also seen this exact same shot with the starbase on fire behind them, we now have absolutely no idea whether they're trying to repel some kind of alien invasion or whether they're actually having some kind of Federation infighting. We will have to wait and see. Number 2, Starfleet phaser rifles. And yes, wouldn't you just know it, even the characters we assumed must have left Starfleet behind, well, it turns out they have some kind of connection to them still, even if they're just borrowing some pieces of equipment. 7 of 9, former Borg drone and presumed essential part of the Picard story, has cropped up in pretty much every trailer and TV spot thus far. Previously, she's been seen rationally talking things through with Jean-Luc, but this time out, she's taking a different approach, pew-pewing her way through a phaser fight. But take a closer look at those 2 weapons she is holding, and they are very clearly Starfleet issue. They are the phaser rifles we've seen in all the movies, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, pretty much everything since they got rid of just the giant hand phaser on the end of a big stick look from the Next Generation. Now, yes, they are a little bit stubbier, and the black finish, I will admit, is more tactical, but they are otherwise unmistakable. Plus, bonus observation, that little blue light means they're on stun. Number 1, a Romulan bar. So yes, 7 of 9 is back, and yes, she is armed with 2 Starfleet phaser rifles, and yes, she is ruining somebody's afternoon, but yes, they are set to stun because she's not here to ruin the rest of their lives. But who, I hear you ask, could she possibly be firing at? Well, we don't see who she's shooting at, but you can make one very good, very well educated guess. Sat there, miraculously unexploded, are 2 glasses of a vibrant blue liquid, very clearly intended to be Califal, or as it's more commonly known, Romulan ale. Now, yes, I know what you're thinking, anybody could be drinking that, Adam. I personally like Mbongo, even though I'm not from the Congo, but given that Romulan ale is an illegal substance in the Federation, yes, I know they lifted the trade ban for Deep Space Nine during the Dominion Wars, but as of Nemesis, it was definitely a controlled substance again. It's a fairly safe indication that is a Romulan's drink. As with all good trailers though, you want to leave with more questions than answers, and as far as those go, why is 7 of 9 dual-wielding phaser rifles in a Romulan Weatherspoons is about as good as I've heard in a very long time, and it's less than a month till we get the answers. So yes, there you have it. Those are all the key details I picked up in that 30-second trailer that I assume pretty much everybody has missed. Not you though, you're very smart, so let me know yours as well in the comments below, and of course don't forget to like, share and subscribe. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I've of course been Adam Cleary. They will buy me a Star Trek uniform at some point, I promise, and I'll see you soon. Bye!